Hey, you still hate 15% in PvE? I still hate it. So here's how we get rid of it in as a man. Here's how we get rid of it in A13. I struggled with this one at first. A lot of people claim 100% teams on this, but the difficulty is surviving stage 1 with all your units intact. I finally figured out how to do it. This isn't my normal team, but this is a perfect one. I'll show you my normal team at the very end. First, I'm going to start out with the exact same Vivian that I used in Banshee 13's 100% run. I tried really hard to maintain the 3 core units because I'm lazy and don't like swapping gear. So once again, you need her to be fast enough that she laps the DPS units. You want her on the EE that gives her a 50% push, and time matters a must if you want a more stable clear. Again, it's the exact same strays that we were running on the Banshee 13 team. You can try to put them on Hellcutter to make your stats a little bit easier to obtain, but this hunt has a lot of chances for dual attacks, and that can screw up Hellcutter, so I recommend Daydream Joker. Watcher Shuri is going to be our assist unit. You want Watcher Shuri to be slower than Strays, which is tough because he's got higher base speed. To do this, I have to take him off of ZE. His exclusive equipment gives him increased base speed, up to 10% more base speed, or 10%, up to 10 more base speed, and it makes him too fast. So I had to take him off of his EE, and I put him on Daydream Joker. Now, you're probably noticing both those units were on Rage Set. Completely unnecessary. Rage doesn't activate at any point in this fight. There are no debuffers on my team, so you don't need Rage Set. Just use whatever sets you can use to get those stats. Now, Crimson Armament is my cleanup DPS unit, if you can believe it. I need her to go fast, so that she goes before the stage 1 mobs and activates her S3 shield and protects everybody from damage and immunity, so I don't take any poison procs. I've got her on the a DPS artifact. You can use Squirt Gun. You can use Warhorn, but it's a little bit trickier to speed tuner to coordinate with Vivian, but it can be done. So here's how the team works. The group runs in, and Crimson Armament makes everybody immortal and immune. So no matter what these mobs do, they can't hurt anybody. No damage, no poison, no ganging up and killing our very soft one-shot units. Vivian does her S3, which activates an attack buff on everybody. Theoretically, one unit could hit Vivian, but it's not going to kill Vivian in one hit. Vivian does most of the damage, and Crimson Armament, with our crit chance, comes in and finishes off that last mob. This takes us into the next stage. There's a swipe. Everybody has only 2 buffs, so I don't have to worry about the Queen resetting and silencing everybody. You can't use Elena in this for the immortality, because Elena gives a effectiveness or effect resistance buff, and that risks the Queen double tapping and silencing your team. Strays goes first, deals a good portion of damage. Watcher Shuri comes in behind and cleans up. You'll notice that there are no debuffs on the boss, so Rage Set did not matter. Don't be intimidated by the fact that I'm wearing Rage Set. It has 0 effect in this fight. You can use Broken Set at the same stats. There's no way for this team to fail. I will go ahead and run it through 30 runs so that you can see every single fight works. Now, not everybody wants to build Strays for DPS. Not everybody has these units, so there'll be a link in the description to one-shot teams that aren't 100%, but are very, very stable and allow you to one-shot A13. Now, in theory, you want Watcher to go last, because Watcher has a unrestricted 100% defense pen. Strays has a restricted 100% defense pen in that it's only 100% if his attack is more than the target's attack, and when the Queen gets Berserk, she gives herself an attack and a defense buff, and if her attack pushes higher than Strays, you may not get 100%. As you can see on that last hit, My speed tuning wasn't perfect and strays went last. Still had enough damage to finish off the queen though. So in my case it didn't matter, but you might want to pay attention to your speed tuning a little bit better than I did and make positive that strays goes first and watcher Shuri goes last to give you the highest chance of success in this fight. So I'll go ahead and check the loot board. Again, you see 620 stigma. At 20 stigma per run, that's 31 successes, 0 fail rate, no RNG, RIP 15%. Now, I don't like running Crimson Armament like this. I use Crimson Armament in PvP, so this is my normal team. I use Wanderer Silk. This team has an extremely high success rate. There is a very, very, very small fail condition to this team. With Wanderer Silk, you just want her to be fast enough to go first before any of the mobs and have enough damage that she injures one of the mobs. Real simple leftover gear. Here's how she works. She takes her first attack, which is an S3, and this damages the highest CR mob and pushes it back. Now that leaves only one mob to attack, and as you can see, it did significant damage to Vivian, but when she gets up immunity and the second mob hits, it's not enough damage to kill, and the poison mobs don't finish her off. The damage to the single mob lets Vivian attack 3 times, taking out each mob in sequence and pushing phase. Now the fail condition is if Wanderer Silk's S3 is resisted, the mob doesn't push back, and 2 of them attack, and you wind up with a dead Vivian or a dead Watcher. That's your fail condition. 2 mobs ganging up on a single unit. Strays does his S3, Watcher does his S3, and the fight's over. Maybe someday I'll build a second Crimson Armor to make this a perfect team, but for right now, this 97 to 99% success rate team is fine by me, and that's what I do. Hopefully this video helps secure your A13 team, make it a lot more stable. If you need other options, check the description for a link to my other A13 one-shot teams. If you have any questions, ask them in the comments section, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great one.